In the heart of Karachi, where the Arabian Sea kissed the concrete shores of Clifton and the call to prayer mingled with the honk of rickshaws, Bilal Khan woke up every morning to the same crushing weight. At 28, he had once been the golden boy of his family, the software engineer who had graduated top of his class from NED University, the one who would lift them out of the cramped two-room apartment in Nazimabad. Now, 6 months after the startup he worked for had collapsed under the weight of economic storms, he drove a beat-up Suzuki Alto for ride-sharing apps. The dashboard glowed with passenger ratings, but inside, Bilal felt like a zero-star version of himself. His father, a retired clerk with failing lungs, coughed from the next room. "Beta, the rent is due," he rasped every evening. Bilal's mother prayed louder at Fajr, as if volume could summon a miracle. His younger sister, Mariam, dreamed of medical college, but stared at textbooks she could barely afford. Bilal stared at his cracked phone screen at night, scrolling through old code repositories, wondering when his fingers had forgotten how to create. "Allah tests those he loves most," his mother would say, but Bilal felt only the test, not the love. Dreams of building an edtech app that could teach coding to street kids in Layari had withered into dust. Motivation? It felt like a word from motivational videos he skipped on YouTube. Across the city, in the narrow lanes of Layari, Ayesha Siddiqui taught 30 children under a tin roof patched with plastic sheets. 26, with eyes that held the fire of every girl who had ever been told, "Education is enough for you, beta, marriage will come." She ran free evening classes funded by whatever donations she could beg from local NGOs. Her dream was bigger, a proper school where girls from the slums could learn without fear of floods, power cuts, or uncles who said books won't fill stomachs. Her own father, a strict retired police officer, had already shortlisted 3 Rishtas, stable government boys who would take care of her. Her mother whispered, "Ayesha, you're getting older. Love is a luxury, security is not." Ayesha smiled through it all, but at night she wrote in a worn notebook, "I will not be the story they write for me. I will write my own." She believed in love, not the filmy kind with roses and rain dances, but the deep, steady kind that lifted 2 broken souls toward the same sky. She just hadn't met it yet. Their worlds collided on a humid Tuesday evening in late March. Bilal's Alto sputtered to a halt near the community center where Ayesha taught. The engine had overheated again. Swearing under his breath, he popped the hood, grease staining his white shalwar kameez. Across the street, Ayesha was locking up after class when she saw a group of boys teasing a stray dog near his car. She marched over, her dupatta fluttering like a battle flag. "Cello, bacho, respect every living thing Allah created," she scolded, her voice gentle but firm. The boys scattered. Then she noticed Bilal, sweat dripping down his forehead, tools scattered on the dusty road. "Need help?" she asked, rolling up her sleeves. "I fixed my father's old scooter once. Not a car, but physics is physics." Bilal looked up, startled. Most passengers barely glanced at him. This woman's eyes held no pity, only curiosity and quiet strength. "His name is Bilal," he said, wiping his hands, "and I'm apparently a failure at basic mechanics today." "Ayesha," she replied, handing him a bottle of water from her bag. "Failure is just data, coded differently next time." They fixed the car together under the orange streetlight. She asked about his work. He told her the truth, the lost job, the driving, the dead dreams. She listened without interrupting, then shared her own battles, the tin roof school, the marriage pressure, the fear that one day the donations would stop, and so would the children's futures. By the time the engine purred back to life, 2 hours had passed. Bilal offered her a ride home. She accepted, but only if he let her pay the fare. "Fair exchange," she said, smiling. In the car, they talked about everything and nothing. Ghazals by Faiz Ahmed Faiz, the way Karachi's sea breeze carried both hope and salt, the quiet courage it took to wake up every day when the world said no. That night, Bilal couldn't sleep. For the first time in months, his fingers itched for his laptop. He opened an old folder titled Dream App and began sketching lines of code. 3 weeks later, they met again, this time by choice. Ayesha had posted on a local Facebook group asking for volunteers to teach basic digital skills to her students. Bilal replied. He showed up every Thursday evening with his old laptop and a bag of samosas. The children called him Baya Code. Ayesha watched him explain loops and variables with a patience she hadn't seen in many men. After class, they sat on the broken bench outside, sharing chai from a thermos. "You remind me why I started coding," Bilal confessed one night. "Not for money, for this, giving kids tools they can't be taken away from." Ayesha's eyes softened. "And you remind me that help comes in unexpected forms. I was losing hope about funding the new roof. Your app idea, it could change everything." They began texting late into the night, not flirtatious emojis, but deep conversations. Bilal sent her a voice note one midnight. "Today, a passenger yelled at me for taking the longer route to avoid traffic. I almost broke. Then I remembered what you said. Every no is practice for the bigger yes. Thank you." Ayesha replied with a photo of her notebook, a quote she had written. "Love is not what you feel, it is what you do when feeling fails." She added, "Keep going, Bilal. The world needs your light." Friendship deepened into something neither dared name. Bilal started waking at 5 a.m. to code before driving shifts. He built a prototype app, Roshni Learn, free coding lessons in Urdu and Sindhi, gamified for slum kids, connected to micro-donations. Ayesha tested it with her students. Their laughter became his fuel. She, in turn, began applying for government grants with his help, drafting proposals late into the night, while her father grumbled about too much independence. Their love grew in the quiet spaces. One evening at Seaview Beach, waves crashing against the rocks, Bilal took her hand, hesitant, respectful. "Ayesha, I see you. Not the teacher, not the daughter. I see the woman who fights for light in the darkest lanes. And I'm falling in love with that fight, with you." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "I've waited for someone who would lift me instead of clipping my wings. Bilal, your dreams are mine now. We build them together." But love in Karachi was never simple. Monsoon season arrived with fury. A flash flood destroyed Ayesha's tin roof center. Books floated away. Children missed weeks of school. Her father announced a Rishta, a cousin's son working in Dubai. "Time to be realistic, Beti." Bilal's father was hospitalized with pneumonia. Medical bills piled up. A ride-sharing company glitch left him without income for 10 days. Doubt crept back. One night, sitting alone in the hospital corridor, Bilal texted Ayesha, "Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe dreams are for people who don't have responsibilities." Her reply came instantly, a voice note, voice steady despite exhaustion. "Bilal Khan, listen to me. You are enough. When I look at you, I see the man who chose to teach children instead of scrolling despair. Love is not absence of storms. It is the courage to dance in them. I choose you every day. Now get up. We have a school to rebuild and an app to launch." He did. They did. Together they organized a community fundraiser at the beach. Poetry, coding demos, Ayesha's students performing skits. Bilal's sister Mariam helped with posters. Donations poured in. A local tech firm saw the Roshni Learn prototype and offered seed funding. "We want social impact," the CEO said. "You two are the real deal." Yet the biggest test came in October. Ayesha's father set a date for the Dubai Rishta. She refused. Tears and raised voices filled their home. "This boy Bilal has nothing," her father shouted. "He drives a car for strangers." Ayesha stood tall. "Abu, he drives hope. He sees me as I am, strong, not broken. I love him, and love, Abu, is the greatest security Allah gives." Bilal faced his own storm. A high-paying job offer in Lahore arrived, stable, with benefits for his father's treatment. It meant leaving Karachi, leaving Ayesha. He almost took it. Late one night on the rooftop, he told her, voice breaking, "I don't want to hold you back." She cupped his face. "You never have. We are not separate dreams, Bilal. We are one. If you go, I go. If you stay, we fight together. No more running from fear." In that moment, under the Karachi stars, they made a pact.
No more hiding. They would build the school first, a proper building in Layari with solar panels and computers. Roshni Learn would launch nationwide, and they would marry, not for society, because their souls had already chosen. The end came during the launch event in November. The flood had returned worse than before. The new school's foundation was damaged. Investors wavered. Ayesha's father arrived unannounced, ready to drag her home. Bilal's mother fell ill again from stress. Standing before 50 community members, children in clean uniforms, Bilal took the mic. His hands shook. Then he looked at Ayesha in the front row, her eyes shining with belief. "I once thought success was money and titles," he said, voice growing stronger. "But true success is waking up every day and choosing to love harder,